When the accident occurs, you've got to take care of the first things first. Check on others, secure the area, notify dispatch and the police. But after that, you've got to shift into defense gear, protect yourself from any claims or potential claims from those who are involved in the accident. And one of the key things in doing that is to make sure that you have photographs to defend yourself and protect yourself. Think about it. Do you want this to come down to a word versus word and leave it to somebody to have to decide between the two versions of what happened? Or do you want to have documentary proof that shows what the damage was, where the impact was, what it actually is, not something that someone can make up or embellish, but actual photographs to show that information? Well, what you want to do first of all is to make sure that you've got photographs of the damage. Where was the impact on your vehicle and the other vehicle? It's key. Even if there is minimal or no damage, take the photographs. Even if you don't call the police or the other person says they're not hurt, or take the photographs. These photographs are from a lane change accident. Minor impact, the drivers talked, no need to get the police, no claim of injury. The other driver got back in his truck, continued down the road. In fact, he drove for 7 more months until he claimed that because of an injury from this accident, he could no longer work for the rest of his life from the age of 30-some years old. Well, these photographs taken at the scene by the driver, despite the fact there was no police and no claim, it enabled us to get a defense verdict that we weren't liable for the injuries that he had. But the key thing is that it starts with taking the photographs. Similarly, the case came out of a traffic circle that our driver went through. He's going down the road and he's pulled over by the police. The police said, hey driver, you sideswiped a car back there in the traffic circle. In fact, your wheel print is on the side of it as proof. Well, fortunately, the driver took photograph, and here it is, and that photograph was of what the plaintiff claimed to be the wheel print impression of our rear tandem into the side of his car. Well, I looked at that wheel print, found on the internet an exact model of that car. It was about 5 years old at the time. Found a used car lot that had one. They were thrilled that I was coming out to take a look at it until I told them, no, I just want to take photographs of it. And the safety director and I had this shop take the rear tandem wheel off of that trailer that supposedly struck it, put it into her minivan, took it out, and wheeled it up beside the car. Well, here's what we found. It's not rocket science. And that same driver, well, fortunately, he took photographs of his rear wheels as well immediately after the accident, because those police that stopped him, they wrote him up for leaving the scene of an accident. Pretty serious stuff. Lose your license for that. Well, he had the photographs to show that never touched it. Here's the rims of his wheels with no red paint transfer on it. It is important and vital to take those photographs and take them immediately in that regard. It's also important to take photographs of the entire vehicle where there's no damage to it, of both vehicles. Otherwise, they'll claim that there was contact either to your vehicle or their vehicle someplace else, what you didn't photograph. Make sure you take it all. And make sure you also get the accident scene. Such things as where the fluids drop on the ground, because that's often used as a point of impact. Where there are any road or tire marks at all. Where the stop signs are, the scene entirely. Does it make a difference? Yeah. A number of years ago, I had a case where there was a car that was coming down as we were pulling out from a drop lot. As we're pulling out, that car comes down, continues, and runs into the rear tandem of our trailer so hard it knocks off the rear tandem. Well, they first claimed that it was at night and we didn't have our lights or reflective tape on. The driver's photograph showed that wasn't the case. Well, they then got an expert who said, well, yeah, maybe we had that on, but because of the angle we came out, the trailer couldn't be seen. It didn't reflect back because of the angle, and it was hidden by the veiling glare of the truck's headlights. Well, I said to the expert when it came time at trial, I said, you're missing something, aren't you? And it's a sad commentary on my life, the thrill I get of watching the smartest kid in the class's eyes spin, trying to figure out where I'm going with this. I said, what you missed was right after the accident, my driver took photographs of the dirt trail coming out of the drop lot across the road, showing he came straight across and cut it, just like he said he did. That would have shown that trailer perpendicular, reflecting the tape beyond where the headlights are and defending us in the case. We got a defense verdict on it. The key thing is get out there, get after it, and get those photographs. And if you don't, well, here's what could happen to you. Don't put yourself in the situation of this driver.
Let me see if I understand your story. You claim you were in the right lane and my client was in the left lane, correct?
Yeah,
You claim that my client came over into your lane and cut you off, right?
that's right.
Your story is that you slammed on your brakes, but you couldn't stop before hitting my client, even though you were only going the speed limit, 45 miles per hour.
That's it.
And it was my client that caused this accident. Is that what you're telling this jury?
Yes, it is.
When you slammed on your brakes, did you leave skid marks?
I sure did. I locked them up.
And you're telling us you never left your lane, right?
Right.
So I assume the skid marks were entirely in your lane, right?
They sure were.
Your company puts an accident kit in the trucks,
Yeah,
a form for witness information,
I guess. I don't really remember.
and a camera in each truck, right?
Right.
Where are the pictures of the skid marks?
Well, I couldn't. The policeman told me to stay in the cab.
Was the policeman there when the accident happened?
Well, no.
In fact, you told us in your deposition it took 10 to 15 minutes for him to get there, right?
Right.
So you had 10 to 15 minutes to take pictures of those skid marks that you claim support your story, right?
Well, I had a lot to do. I had to check on the other people and put out flares and call my dispatcher.
Well, yes, but you told me in your deposition under oath that you did all of that and still had 5 to 10 minutes for the police to arrive, right?
Well, if that's what I said.
So you had 5 to 10 minutes to take pictures of the skid marks you claimed were there, right?
Not claimed to be there, were there.
Okay. You had camera, time, got pictures.
Well, no.
Don't put yourself in that position. Get out, take pictures, defend yourself. Protect yourself with the evidence that shows what really happened.